And I caught the last rack. Yes, very exciting indeed. Yeah. Interesting though. Yeah, I think your escape with the rest would have been the better one. The amount of spin he needed to pull that off, it's super tough to judge, right, when you're not really familiar with the materials. So you mentioned that being rack of the tournament of the, sorry, the best match of the tournament so far. What about shot of the tournament for you?
Shot of the tournament. I mean, obviously we can only go off what we're seeing here. Shot of the tournament.
Yes, of course, yeah. I had one in mind in case you don't.
Was it in the last match or is it from another match?
Not the last match. It wasn't one I was commentating on, but I caught it. I think it was the first one yesterday. I thought that shot from Carlo with the screw back to come up and bump into the 9 to get position on the 2 in the first or the second rack. If you remember that, he did a massive draw shot. I didn't see any way to get position, and he managed to draw the cube all the way back up, bump into the 9. The 2 was blocked here.
Yeah, I remember it now. That was a good shot, yeah.
I was wondering actually about whether you're going to do any shot of the tournaments. For sometimes you have that feature, right?
Yeah, I don't know if these guys are able to do that or not. That's down to production. No replays this week. I'm sure people at home may have noticed that sometimes. We show the good shots, so we've not seen the replays.
So Masato off to a good start here. Nice open rack off the break. Don't see any problems here. Just depending on how he's feeling out there, right? They had a bit of warm-up time each. I think sort of 5 or 10 minutes each they got, right? So should have the arm in swing. Nicely controlled drawback there, and he may have got a little straight, but he should have a little bit of angle he can punch across, unless of course there's a dead set combo on. Looks like he's going to punch the ball over. Oh, he didn't fancy it. He was obviously too straight. Chose for the shot to get a better position. It's a confident rack from Masato here. Doesn't look to those at all affected by being out there on the TV table. Very smooth. Yes, break and run we had there, I think. Yep.
Ko Ping-yi will be breaking in rack 2, the former world 9-ball champion. He is one of the top players in the world. If you were to say a top 10 playlist right now, I'm sure he would be in that list. This is the first time we've got to see Ko Ping-yi. I'm interested to see what break he applies. Usually likes to go straight down the nose and park the cue ball. But because everyone's having success with the cut break, that's what everyone is doing. Needs the 1 ball to stop, and he has done.
Yeah, that seems to be the break that's working here. say, to control the one ball just above the center pocket, and it's all about speed control then. Kopeny considered for a long time as one of the best breakers around, and he's just shown it there. It's probably the key ball of the rack now, if he can get nicely on the 2. I'm not sure if it goes past the 5, so this is definitely not an easy shot, even though the one's hanging in the pocket.
Watch the side pocket.
Just caught the knuckle there. So I don't think it squeezes past the 5, so he's going to be looking at a safety here. Looks like he might be just pushing the 2 into the 5 ball, or between the 3 and the, yeah. So could have made that then, which might have made his life tricky, but it's worked out okay. Might see Masato try something similar.
Can bank the 2 ball up table.
Oh,
Hiding behind them 3 balls. More the 7 and the 9 really.
well spotted.
Kopeny pulling the jump cue out. Not even looked at a kick shot. The only way he could kick it anyway would be from the left. Maybe playing a jump bank shot. That shot looks more favourable, because at least you're guaranteed distance. He knows the cue ball's going to stay up there if he does pot the 2.
Got that little added extra chance that it might go in off the 5 as well. So it makes the pocket a little bit bigger. Oh, he's hit it very, very nicely, but it might hang up. Oh no, he's got away with it. That's his result. Kopeny very, very good with the jump cue as well. I believe he actually has his own range of jump equipment. It's a tough little kick. I don't think he'll risk going 2 ball first. So he's coming into the cushion first. Oh, nicely done. Catching it thin to push it along the top cushion, and got a hook back. In pool they use the term hooked more than snookered, but I've noticed when you're commentating with JJ that he does actually say snookered in with the American style.
Yeah, I find it a bit bizarre when he says it and all. I've actually pulled him a couple of times.
I have a friend here who I play with who's American, and he always says snookered. I said, this is not how you say it, dude. Okay. Took an educated guess on that one. He knew there was a few different ways it could go in. As I did I see the referee there? I think that's Steve Chua, one of our local players, experienced local player and coach here in Singapore, is refereeing this match. Get a better glimpse of him later, maybe. It's an unusual kind of extension there. Most of the guys have extensions now which screw into the back of the cue. He seems to have a sort of one that sort of
plugs over the cue or something. Yeah, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Like an olden day original extension.
Okay, you've got that. It's kind of a very standard kind of safety shot that you see come up a lot. Just going to try and get the line of the cue ball to be running into that 6 ball, so that even if you misjudge the pace slightly, you're still likely to get a hook out of it. So the 1 cushion and the 3 cushion available here. I favour the 3 cushion myself. Or I could be going 2 as well. There's several. Looks from. I think he's going. He's going 2. No, he's going 3. No idea what he did there.
I think he was going 1.
I think he was going 1, right? Yeah. Okay.
It was a
So
good
9
safety,
looked like
wasn't
it was partly in the way for the 1, but it's obviously how they see it out there is very different, right?
Nice cueist of the ball, his Co. Keeps very still. And he's a nice guy as well. The Cole brothers, they're all nice gentlemen.
He's actually playing pretty quick. Without the shot clock, sometimes he can sort of go up and down on the shot a lot. I think maybe could be one of those players that actually benefits from the shot clock a little bit. Playing very nicely here, though he's underhit that. Not impressed with himself.
Yeah, so an early tester to get off the board. But it's there in the middle of the pocket. He's took care of it. This match is all poised after 2 racks. Still early days, but it's 1-1. Ko Pin-Yi is off the board. Masato will be breaking in the next alternate break here this week.
Maybe I can just mention a little bit about the women's event, which, don't forget, is going on in the background. So double elimination also, because some of the ladies we saw losing, surprisingly would say losing yesterday, such as the Filipinos, Jessica and Rubelin. They're back in action again now in the double elimination round. So the lady we're seeing breaking here is Zhang Yulong's wife. See, her name is Zhang Li Chia.
We were talking about this in the last match, me and Gabriel. There's a lot of these lady players who are married or going out with the male players.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Carl. I think once you get to this level, you're playing every day. And if you want to have a relationship, it better be with someone who's in the pool game, right?
I don't know, I think mine may end in divorce if that was the case.
Is that why you quit playing?
Yeah. Got the lock up, but it's an easy 1-rail kick. This ideally wanted it to be sat right onto that too. That would have taken the 1-rail away. I think we're going to have a count up. Try and find out how many are married and dating one of these lady players. Get some information on that. It's what the fans really want to know.
Yeah, that would be interesting, yeah. It's nicely judged. You know, he had a good chance to go in off, and if it to get the 1 off the 6 or pot it directly, and if it wasn't going, there was a good chance to leave it safe. So it was a kind of educated kick pot safe, and it's worked out. It's amazing how often these guys do get safe off of kicks. If you tried these kind of shots You know, you see amateurs playing these shots in the club. They're invariably leaving a shot on, and these guys, it looks like they're just hitting the ball and getting safe, but it's a lot more skill to it than would be apparent.
Speed, that's what it's all about. It's all about the speed of the kick.
So you feel from a certain situation that this is the right speed to have the highest chances of getting
100%,
a resave.
yeah, definitely. It's all about knowing that you're not always going to hit that ball exactly where you want. So then it's understanding what is around the table, and then speed usually is what is required. Can he see an edge? It looks tight.
I think he can, but it looks to me like a scratch off the inside of the 2-ball if he does. I mean, it's makeable, but it's super tough and a high chance to scratch. But it's difficult to see a safety as well, right? So it's one of those shots where if he could see a bit more, he could bank the one back up the table. Oh, it looks like he might even need to jump an edge here. So he could be jumping an edge to hit more of the ball, which is going to give him a better chance of getting a resave.
I'd rather play a little swerve. There doesn't look like there's much swerve. This is, I feel like you're taking a lot of the control away from it. Well, they actually hit quite full though. The swerve shot would have meant after contact the cue ball rolls up table off the side rail. Because he jumped it, it acted as a stun shot.
Right, interesting, yeah. And these tables do swerve okay, not like some of the new cloths which are more slidey. This cloth is actually quite grippy right from being new, so the swerve does work okay on this cloth. You saw that shot in the previous match in the deciding rack. There was a huge amount of spin and swerve, and it bit on that bottom cushion and totally came high on the floor over the middle, right? That's a great kick as well.
Wonderful kick shot. Kick and stick there from Copin.
So what's the secret to getting that cue ball to stick?
High ball. He played that on top of the cue ball. A lot of people think you should aim on a low ball, but it's a high ball, and then that transfers onto the object ball and helps the cue ball stick. You've got to hit it full though. Even
when you're going off 2 cushions, it doesn't reverse back again?
No, I mean obviously it depends where the object ball is, I suppose. Well, look at this.
Oh wow.
Sato
Nice.
going airborne, fires it in. I know the Asian players, they're probably a little bit more adept with a jump cue. I mean, I heard a rumour, I don't know if it's true, that they have like pool over in certain parts of Asia where they do it in school.
I mean, certainly here. So KK Chan has 3 pool halls in Singapore. There's this one, there's the Aspire, it's just called directly Aspire, and the Aspire Q Sports, and then he has a third one called Kings, and in every one of those halls, at least 2 nights a week, you can't get a table because it's jammed with students, like 4 or 5 around every table, and it's sometimes they're all making balls, and I'm like, you sure they're students? You know, but they're more university, not school students, I think, college or university rather than school. So I'm not sure about the school level in Singapore anyway.
Well, I heard that in some parts of Asia they play it in school, and they have sessions where they just jump the ball and they work on the jump shot.
If that's true for Philippines, it wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, it's interesting to hear. Look into that. Yeah, it's not the kind of sport that you'd think in the Western world that the parents would be happy about the kids doing at school, right? It's got that reputation. It shouldn't have, right? But it does have. I guess it's a hangover from the old American hustling days. But yeah, it's definitely on the up and just clean up and having a better image. Partly thanks to you guys, of course, doing these kind of things.
The jump shot from Masato was a bit of an anticlimax because he's going to lose the rack.
Yeah, surprising miss on that 2-ball. Seemed like a pretty routine bank, right? But Copigny has one bite at the cherry and pulls it off. So he's in front now, 2 frames to 1. 2 racks, I should say.
The Mosconi Cup is back in Las Vegas after 2 years. The absence, it's been in London for, well, last year. In Europe for the last 2 years due to COVID, but it's back on American soil. Bally's Las Vegas through November the 30th till December the 3rd. Limited tickets are still available, but I'd hurry up because I have a sneaky feeling they won't last long. Matchroom have added another 250 seats, and I just get a feeling the American fans are going to bring it. Lost the last 2. Can they get the cup back?
Quick update on the ladies before we get this 4th rack underway. The Filipina ladies have really zoomed it out in front. Cheska's already at 4-1, and in a lot of the other matches we've only had 2 or 3 racks played, so they play at an incredibly fast pace, these Filipina girls.
One ball going in, doesn't matter this time because he's got a nice shot on the 2. All the balls are sat nice here. Any angle on this green 6 is good enough.
Devastating 9-ball being played by Copigny here. Textbook stuff. Perfect breaks, easy run layouts, and then making the runouts look easy by keeping the cue ball on a dime, as they say. See that shot? That's a kind of a shot that amateurs can have issues with when the ball's frozen on the rail. And that's something that the pros really train a lot, and so they don't make a mistake. Would you say any tips out there to the amateur watching for how to make those balls? Because a lot of amateurs struggle with that.
They're probably sometimes maybe catching the rail first, even though they don't realise, and you kind of have to hit the ball more because you're putting right spin on the ball as well. Most pros, I know I do this, but most pros play every shot with a bit of spin. It's very rare you aim centre ball.
Do you think that's the right thing to do?
Yes. Well, if most of the pros are doing it, it won't be the worst move.
Okay.
If you're playing a pot into an angle, you will always play it with a bit of spin.
Is that Emily coming in the back there?
Yeah, Emily Fraser, managing director of Matchroom Pool. She's here with meetings and watching the action.
Sorry, Carl, I stopped you there. So you think the reason for adding the spin to every shot is to counteract that you're not hitting the cue or center, or to counteract the...
I think it just helps you with the pot. It's like an instinct thing, and I think the feel of every shot, it's just years and years of playing and understanding the ball. It's actually quite hard to hit centre ball, you know, to keep delivering the cue through. And when I say spin, I don't mean the juice in the cue ball up. It could be like a quarter of a tip, not even that.
So it's almost like a subconscious thing. You think you get used to shooting that way?
Yeah, I think any ball that they're playing down the rail, if you see the shots where an object ball is near the rail and a player has to stun it in and come in a direct parallel line across, you get that shot wrong so often because you're not used to playing it with centre ball.
Right. I mean, intuitively, if you're playing that kind of shot, inside spin would actually transfer the right kind of spin to the object ball to help the pocket swallow the ball, right? And when you put outside, you're actually throwing the ball off the cushion, so you have to hit it more accurately.
Yeah.
but players, as you say, get used to playing it with outside spin.
So they allow for it.
Right. So it's going. Looks like he's going at the 1 rail here.
I'd love to hit this full. If he can hit it full, he'll leave the cue ball.
Oh, I was just about to say that's a possible thing. Oh, look at how he's come out. Yeah, that was. You could see the shins on the pocket there when you got that really close-up angle. So the pockets would be 4.5 inches normally when the tables are delivered, but the table, the guy doing the reclothing there has added some little rubber shins onto the edges of the pockets to bring them down to 4.1 to make the game a little bit more entertaining. If these pockets were standard, that 9 ball would have been gone by now. We'd have been onto our next rack.
The kick shot, he was trying to hit full again. If he'd have hit the 1 ball full, cue ball would have stayed around the bottom and hopefully get the 1 up table.
So, yeah, he's got to make contact with this, otherwise it's a pretty easy rack for Gopini to finish off.
Soft draw.
Oh dear.
Wasn't soft enough. And he's moved the 4 away. It's interesting to see if he'll play the combo.
Directly from the 1, you mean?
He's not even looked at it, but why wouldn't he shoot it?
Yeah, actually, he could put the cue ball back in the top cushion there. Because now he has to get good position on the 2. I'm not saying he won't, but... Well.
Why wouldn't you shoot the combo? Yeah. Why would you risk getting position? I think maybe he just didn't spot the combo.
Oh, maybe.
I think the 4 ball was in the way. If he did spot it, maybe he just didn't know it had been moved, but he could have just put the cue ball behind the 1. But whatever, he's won the rack. He's 3-1 up with a little bit of fortune.
Should be, yeah.
US Open 9-ball championship is coming soon. 10th to the 15th of October. Kyle Obiado is your defending champion. What a week that was. Brand new venue. And the fans, they brought it every session. Tickets still available. Limited tickets as well. There you see the website. And over there. Have a nosy on the website as well. You can see the live rankings and all the information.
Just quick update for you again on the ladies. So Cheska Centino stormed out to a 6-1 lead over Fathra Mausam from Indonesia. That's the highest other score in the other matches is the Rublin Hamid at 3-0 to Hung Huynh from Vietnam, and the other matches are all around 1-1, 2-1, 1-0. They really can't understate how fast especially Cheska plays. It's quite something to see. Hopefully we'll get to see it later on the TV table. I'll update on the other matches in the break after the next rack's finished here. Gopini at the table. Looks again like this is just a key shot for the rack, coming up to sit nicely. So he's checked the ball up. Need to put a little bit of extra pace on the cue ball when you do that, because it kills it off the cushion, and might not have put quite enough on, because he's made this a little bit more tricky for himself than he would have liked. But I think he can spin round just past the 7 off of 2 rails. He might draw it across. He's just spinning it around just to leave himself an angle again, looking for the center of the table. Could float this in or play it 2 rails out back to the middle again. He's chosen to put a stroke on it rather than float it in. So player to player are different, and most like to put a stroke on it. I think it's the easiest way to increase the percentage of the pot. there's any problems from here on out.
This is where Copigny, and most of the top pros, but Copigny very rarely makes a mistake in open play when all the balls are there. Nearly right on cue, hooked himself behind the 9.
Yeah, there was an unusual route to go over to that side of the table. It shows he's feeling confident, feeling good, that he knows exactly where the cue ball's going. You can always have a little slip up and get yourself hooked when you do things like that, right? Just once in a while. And it's all about percentages, right, Carl? I mean, it's just about doing everything that's going to reduce the chance of that rare error, because those rare errors can turn matches at this level. It's all about who makes the least mistakes. More so in this than snooker. It's whole match can be one player making 1 or 2 mistakes, the other player making 3 or 4 mistakes, and that's it. Whereas in snooker, you'll see a lot of missed balls and some frames with a lot of innings and all sorts of stuff. So there's less pressure on each shot.
Yeah, Copigny's one of them fewer players who doesn't play with the glove as well. A lot of pool players seem to be wearing the gloves these days, but he still doesn't.
So they, am I right in saying that nice cut shot being made there? I'm not sure who that player is. Oh, can't. No, I think that's probably one of the Vietnamese players. Try and work out what table that is and give you an update in the next break.
Masato needs something good to happen here. Needs the 1 ball to bounce, but the 8 ball has come and roll right in front of the cue ball. Things just not quite happening at the moment.
Yeah, it's all about the break again. Copigny just seems to have it more under control. Masato's looking confident when he's in the balls, and he's just not getting that early chance. It's not an easy push either, because there's always the chance to somehow kick that 3 ball in. I think it's the 3, not the 5 over the pocket there. It's probably why he's left him over on that side. What do you see here, Carl?
Could just bank the 1 up towards the 2. Use the 7. The 8's there as a blocker. Looks very easy. He isn't going to chase the 3 ball if anyone's thinking that, because you just don't know where the 1's going to go. But that 2 ball's a big ball. That's what he's sort of played, hasn't he?
Yep, yep. Kept it simple. Might have left an edge, a tempter for Masato to go out. If he can see it, I think he's got to go for it. It looks like the cue ball should be coming back down to give him a shot on the 2. So he just has to make the 1 to give himself a shot on the 2. Maybe he couldn't see it. It's a great kick and stick again. Easier to get that one because it's so close on the cushion, and the cue ball just fit perfectly behind it.
36 years of age, Masato Yoshioka. His best finish at the World 9-Ball Championships was this year, 17th place. So he won a few matches there, got himself in the mix. Japan have produced world 9-ball champions, so very capable players. Nukio is still in this event as well. He's playing the last match of the day against Anthony Raga from the Philippines. I believe there's a gap there for Copenhagen to do something. The overhead tells us there is a gap. If this was practice, he'd just have a go at the bank shot.
If he's got that sort of gap where he can only hit the right angle to bank it, he might be kind of forced to take on the bank. Yeah, the problem with that was always going to be the position to the 2-ball, even if he did make it.
I think he can smash this ball in the corner and draw in between the 7 and the green 6. Draw it back out. Doesn't need to get crazily good on the 2. As long as he gets back out, that's perfect.
Oh, he's got very nicely on that, yep. There's always the danger on that, a little bit too much spin, like you say, to naturally, to the feel of playing that shot, you want to put outside on it, and then you're going to bump the 7 on the way back across, but he judged that very nicely. Left himself a little bit long on this, but should be no problem, given where the 6 is. Stun across. I mean, he could top spin with left, or he could just punch it across in front of the 9 to get to that side rail. That's the one he's gone for. I think he wanted to come across more than that, but he could just do a little draw shot and have the 7 in the middle, perhaps. Ideally, he would have come across closer to that right-hand side cushion and given himself a 2-railer into the 7 on the same pocket, but since he's come a bit short, he might play for the 7 in the middle. See the players mixing up using the closed bridge and the open bridge. Very rarely does a player use exclusively only a closed bridge or an open bridge. So they seem to choose open or closed depending on the shot. Something again you never see in snooker. Do you ever see a snooker player playing with the closed bridge? Often wondered why, but.
A loop bridge.
Yeah, I call it closed bridge when you have your finger.
You
call it a loop bridge.
Yeah, you call it a close bridge.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, I've never heard of loop bridge.
Yeah, you're joking.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they call it over here, closed bridge. Yeah.
Right, loop bridge we call it. I'm thinking closed bridge. What's that?
Yeah,
right.
But I mean, loop bridge kind of makes more sense. But yeah. I mean, because it gives you more. It doesn't allow the shaft to wobble around, right?
Yeah, I think on power shots you see it a lot. SVP, one of the most powerful cueists in the game, obviously uses the loop bridge, or the close bridge, a lot. But I think for actual potting a ball, if you had a gun to your head, I wouldn't use the loop bridge.
Because of the sight, the line,
the sight,
down the
but
line.
I cue off the cue. You know, my chin's on the cue. Some players, I think, because of the loop bridge, from a young age getting into it, that's why they're not on the cue, so they can see over the loop.
Yeah, we mentioned that yesterday, that some of the players in pool are high off the cue, whereas you don't see that in snooker, and that could be one explanation for it. Yeah. So just a quick update on the ladies there. This is So Chang Li Jia is 2-3 down there on the table, we can see. Other updates is that Jessica Centino has won. She's the first lady to be finished over Fadra Amasam from Indonesia. Other matches ongoing between two Singaporeans, Venus and Angela. They're at 2-2. And then there's two Vietnamese ladies playing. Hoa Kim Nog and Hung Nog Ang. And some other ladies matches, one of them yet to get underway. All the scores can be found on the digital pool platform. Anybody to log in and have a look at. So again, Ko Ping Yi with his textbook break. I'd say apart from, say, Chua and Ko Ping Yi have been doing this break with sort of 90% success rate.
Capito, 7 break and runs in the last match.
Really?
7.
Oh, I missed that. Wow. And he still didn't make it. Oh. Hmm. So he gave a look as if he wasn't too happy about that. Not sure why though, if he wanted to go a bit further or, I mean, it looks like he's going for the center here. Quite sure what he didn't like about that, but he's played it well.
Yeah, that was a good shot indeed. Some players may have played it in the corner, the 3 ball. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I've seen that before.
It would have also given an easier position to the 4, right? Yeah.
Always enjoyed watching Ko play 9 ball. Just like the way he approaches the game and never really seems to hit the ball too hard. And I think he relies on these big angles and just floats the ball in. And just like that, he replies with a break and run as he takes this match to 6-2. "96 players started at the beginning of the week. Double elimination down to 32. Last 32 and last 16 was yesterday. Today we're left with 8. Every match, every quarter-final match will be played on the TV table. Confirmation of our first quarter-final, Johan Chua against Robbie Capito. Match of the tournament rather, 11-10. That had it all. And we had a last rack shootout with loads of drama. This match is 6-2 to Ko. Loro Bongai from the Philippines is up next against fellow Filipino James Aranas. That's at 4 p.m. And then at 6 p.m, Naoki Oi against Anthony Raga. What a day we have in store. Masato to break. Trails 6 racks to 2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those matches as well, to see how the two young Filipinos play. Haven't seen much of them before on these kind of events, so not as intended there from Masato, but fortune favoured him on this occasion with a nice shot on the 1 ball. So he's really got to take advantage of this to try and get himself back into the match. So he's got an inside spin on this from the way he's cueing the ball. Yeah, I'm surprised about that. I mean, I would have been going outside and 2 rails. Just the way he was cueing it looked like it was a very speed sensitive decision. And he hasn't taken advantage of having a shot on the 1 after the break. That's worrying signs of
Yeah,
Masato.
I was watching his action with the bridge because over the years, pool players' actions have been a little bit questionable, but his action looked okay. So I didn't expect a poor positional shot to come from there. Kicking off the back rail, this shot can go wrong more times than it goes right. Because it's so hard to hit where he wanted.
Good call, yeah. Yeah.
He was trying to find the 2 on the back rail, on the bottom rail, wasn't he? So just hit it a bit too much on the left.
Yeah, we saw when Kopeny checked the ball earlier on to come up for the 2, he also underhit it. I just think that because these cushions are quite grippy, that when you do check off the cushion, you need to put a little bit more than you think on it. Maybe we got caught out on that, and which just led to that kick error and let Kopeny back in. And the way he's playing, you don't see him making a mistake here and then putting a break and run in, and that would put Masato into a very uncomfortable position. Might be going a couple of rails on this. Oh, he's gone for the bank shot. Oh, well. Wouldn't have seen that. Excellent decision to give himself position. I think most players would have tried to put that in the middle and spin the cue ball round off a couple of cushions for the 3. That's what the pros do. They're so confident on the bank shots. They see a bank that's dead set like that, they feel like it's 99% in. Let's leave himself an angle on the black. Doesn't want to come back too deep. It's pretty okay.
I think before this match, many people would have made Ko favourite. Just felt like Masato maybe needs to get off to the better start to stay with Ko, but Ko's building up a healthy lead now, and the fact that we're playing alternate break means it's going to be a very tall order indeed.
Yeah, perfect on that 9 ball. Very confident with the conditions now.
So Ko takes a 7-2 lead, breaks the serve again. He'll be breaking in the next. 33 years of age, Kopeny. Such a good CV already. He's a former world #1. His current Matchroom ranking is 17. That is the ranking that we're trying to push into the game of 9 ball. This is the big plan from Matchroom Pool. He's a former 2-time World Junior Champion, 2007 and 8. He's a 2-time Japan Open Champion, 2011 and 13. Former World 9 Ball Champion 2015. Also won the World Cup of Pool in the same year. Building up a great CV already. Kopeny to break. He leads 7-2.
It's interesting what he's got for a break cue there. I think he's got the BK Rush shaft on an old BK2 or BK3 braking butt. So he's combined some different models of brake shaft technology together. He's again, you know, a Chinese Taipei player with one of these NQs, but opts for the Predator brake shaft.
In 2015 when he won the World Cup pool. His partner was Chang Long, who we've seen here this week.
Did you just mention that he was in one of the year he got the 9 and the 10 ball in the same year? He beat Shane Van Boning. I think it was in Qatar, the World Championships, and he won the World 10 ball in the same year. That was when he burst onto the scene. I think it was 2016 or 2017. That was 2015. Yeah. You wouldn't want to bet against him making a break and run in many games, would you?
Well, that's his third of the match, maybe 4. I might have missed one off on my piece of paper, keeping the stats. But the stat we all need to know is the stat of 8-2. Masato will break, but he's got it all to do. Plays with Zen custom cues. They're the cues you was talking about, wasn't it, yesterday?
Yes. I think they're all playing with those at the time.
Who was playing with the Zen cue yesterday? Who was it? Well, you were saying they were expensive cues, right?
More than one player, but it would have been a Chinese Taipei player.
Because it's a Chinese Taipei cue maker.
Yes, I believe so. But several of the Singaporeans are, thanks for getting that great shot of it there. They all have this wonderful kind of silver or gold ring work on them all the way down the butt. Several of our top Singaporean players are using them. Fraser Liao and Steve Fong, both sort of, Fraser was the Singapore national handball champion, and Steve there in the top few players in Singapore. They're both using that equipment now. Yeah, I can't remember. More than one player we've seen on the TV tape has been using that equipment as well. I think it was Chang and somewhere. So again, Masato not keeping control of the one ball or the cue ball in this case, as he'd like to have. Or let's say as Ko Pin-Yi has been doing successfully. He's looking at a possible combination, a billiard, I think was the correct terminology when you're planting the 1 onto the 4 ball there. Or I'm not sure if it goes past in the middle pocket. That's what he's done. Oh, yeah, he didn't want them both to drop, but it's not the worst. He's got a shot on the 2, tester, and it's really just got to make it with a bit of a stun ball. Fortunately, the right side of the ball, so the cue ball will be traveling across, I believe, or he might be straight or just off angle. It's tough to see there. He may have to just draw it back a little bit and take a cut on the 3. He's winding up for something big here, actually, so he might be really off angle. Oh yeah, you can see there he is. Yeah. Oh, just decided to take the cut.
Smart
was basically
play.
Dead straight in the end. It looked like it was slightly off angle, but it was. And you can see he hit dead center of the cue ball. The cue ball wasn't spinning even one turn, so it was a well cued shot. For these guys, that kind of cut shot is bread and butter. So he's done well actually to get out here, given what he had off the break. Hasn't got out yet, but it's looking good. Yeah, that looks to be ideal position on the 7 to come 1 or 2 rails across for the 8. Make sure to leave himself an angle. Want to be actually on the rail. Should be okay.
just got there enough, but he's left it a little shy of where he would have liked for a guaranteed 9, but obviously he's a big favourite to pot this 9. And he does, so that's another rack back. That's all he can do, reply with a break and run. He's 9-3 down. 8-3 down, sorry.
Quick look back here to the ladies match. I believe that's table 13, so it'll be Samia Konishi and Chang Li Jia. So Japanese, Samia Japanese and Chang Li Jia, South Korea, I believe. Sorry, Taipei. Sorry, my mistake, Taipei. Getting mixed up with the flags there. So Kopinyi setting himself up for that break there. He's got a routine he's done hundreds of thousands, probably millions of times. So every little adjustment of the body is, oh, he's got the cue ball kick this time. So can't always avoid that happening. Believe it or not, these players are even trying to calculate the ball, where the balls are going. They know where every ball's going off the break, and they're trying to avoid even the cue ball getting kicked. But in that case, it hasn't happened. And yeah, for the first time, we see Kopinyi faced with a potential push out. He's looking where to push the cue ball here. He won't be doing anything. He won't be kicking at this. It's way too low percentage. So he's trying to leave him something to leave Masato. Just a long shot, possibly tempt him into a bank shot. No, I don't think there's a bank shot on there. Push the one ball along the bottom cushion. Try and put the cue ball up in between the 6 and the 9 with a little inside. The 3 ball or the 5 will act as a blocker, stopping the 1 ball getting near the pocket. But he might be seeing something else. He's passed it back. So very rare you see pros pass back the push out when they can see the whole object ball. So yeah, I would expect Masato to be coming back and being hooked, but perhaps he's seen something I haven't.
Well, let's just say he plays thin off this and just gets distance. If he doesn't get the hook, yeah, Masato's going to be coming back with a more difficult shot than what he was faced with. This time he got the hook, but let's just say he didn't.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a gamble in these things sometimes. Of course, Kopinyi was looking to get the cue ball tight up behind the 2 ball, but he'll be happy with that. And there is a jump shot on here, and that 1 ball does go past the 4, but not much future positionally in that. He's probably going to catch the 8 if he jumps the 1 and makes it. Interesting jump cue he's gone for there. Have you seen one of those cars? Is that like a mixture of woods in the shaft, or is it just painted for effect? I've got no idea what brand that is. could get lucky if that sits right on the cushion. Quite an acute angle, so putting this in with a lot of speed and topspin is not going to be easy. But unless he does, or he may be playing it up into the top and then just pushing the cue ball across the position, but the 9 and the 7's there. So, a chance.
Yeah, first glimmer of hope for Masato.
It's the first ball he's missed, right, Carl, in the match.
Yes, it is. This is just what he needed, and in an alternate break format, when you can win a rack on your opponent's break, it's really the only way you're going to come back into a match, because if he wins this rack, he has got the break next. So from 8-3, we could be looking at an 8-5 match without Coping Yi getting out of the chair. And if he wants any chance of winning this match and advancing, I think that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, fully agree on that. If he can bring it back to 8-5, he's still in it. Otherwise, it's looking bleak. Looks to be another player using one of these quite large extensions on the back of the cue there. Quite a few players doing that these days. It's an 8-inch or 6-inch extension he's got on the back there. He's done well there. Got a bit of a funny angle on the 4, so he had to go short side on the 5 and left himself a nice angle to just pop off 2 rails for the 6. He's looking to float forward, somewhere where his cue is there, visualizing where he wants the cue ball to go, giving his computer brain the information it needs to work things through. He's perfectly on that. Stun up just above the middle pocket with a little bit of right hand spin. Even though he's behind here, he seems to still be playing nice confident strokes, fluent. As we saw him play in the first rack, you know, I thought the way he looked is he's going to be playing his A game or something close to it. It's just been the breaks that's been the difference, really. As we've talked about already, if we did have that scenario with the box breaking and the 9 on the spot, I think we'd be seeing a level match here.
Well, it was the missed 1 ball from Ko. His first missed ball of this match, which has allowed Masato to break serve. 8-4 breaking, needs a break and run, and then the rest is out of his control. Any updates from the ladies event that started yesterday? 32 players playing double elimination. The final we will be showing tomorrow, so that's going to be good for our viewers.
Yes, so Rubelin is on the hill against the Vietnamese player Hung Huynh. Samir Konishi, who we saw earlier on there against Chang Li-Chia, is now 5-2 up on Chang Li-Chia. And 2 Vietnamese playing Hung Hoa Kim Nok on Hung Nok Ang. The Hoa Nok is 5-1 up against her compatriot there. And we have 3-2 for Venus against Angela, the 2 Singaporeans. More updates to come after this match, after this frame, sorry.
Masato has done this the full set. He's not using the cup break.
Yeah, tester here. But at least he's got a shot. Ooh. A little bit of a nervy one. I went in thick on the pocket, but at least it's gone in. So if he'd hit the pocket more centrally, he would have a straight shot, making it much easier to draw back down the table. As it is, I think he can still draw this ball. If he puts a very sweet stroke on it, he might be able to draw it past the 8. The problem is he's stretching for it. So if he didn't need to stretch for it, he might be able to make this shot relatively easy. As it is, he might need to think about punching it round off of 2 or 3 rails. Problem is the 8 balls could get in his way, and then he'd have to make a very tricky 4-5 combo, which is potentially going to not leave him a shot on the 4 afterwards. So just that 1 cue ball distance that he wanted it to be over towards the middle of the table due to going in the pocket thick has caused him all sorts of trouble. It's amazing how much that 1 or 2 centimeters can make so much of a difference sometimes. He's got, of course, he's got that 6-inch extension I mentioned, so he's used to playing this shot with the weight of the cue. That's why they have it on there. So now he's done well out of that, but he still has a tricky shot. So I don't like these kind of shots because you can get double kisses if you don't hit it sweet, and if he hits it sweet, the 4's going away from the pocket. Unless it squeezes past the 5, of course. It may squeeze past the 5. Oh. So he's tried to catch it thick to avoid the 4 running away on him, and yep. Oh, that's a big mistake to make. It wasn't an easy shot, but it's just, he would have still backed himself to make that with a very high percentage.
Yeah, and it could be the mistake what essentially was going to go on and cost him this match, because, as we said, he had the break, so Ko Ping-yi could break back. And with the break and running the next for Ko, he'll be on the hill.
Yeah, that was really big. Come up a little short on this 8, so he's got to dig down. He's deciding not to go around the table. He's just going to draw it back a bit. Very nice. Always a danger when you jack the cue up there that just get a little bit of unwanted side on the ball. So
9-4 to Ko. He's going to be breaking, and this match is back in control. A little bit of a scare there, but he's in full control.
some updates from the ladies tournament. As promised, we got Jeff Tan from Singapore has beaten Vietnam's Nung Ich Tram 7-3. They're on table 2. We can't see that match I just mentioned right now. That's just finished behind on the left side. So we're looking back again onto the match, I believe, with Samir Kanoishi and Chang Li Cha, which is standing at 5-2. I'm afraid I'm not sure which of the 2. I think this is Chang Li Cha at the table. Oh, great bank shot there. She got position on the 7. I think it looked like she may have had a cut on the 7, so she might be going 6-2 in front of Chang. Or she might be clawing 1 back rather to 3-5. If she can make that 7 ball. Ko's break again.
Ko's been using the cut break to great effect. This time the 1 caught the middle point, that's why it's not gone over the other corner, but he has a shot on the 1.
Yeah, so the 1 ball just going a little lower on the table than he was hoping for, catching the jaw. And he has been a little fortunate to get to have a shot, but this is not easy for the positional side of things. He's got a choice of rolling in very softly and holding the cue ball in the middle of the table. But that makes the shot more tricky. Or he's going to spin it around. Or is he killing the cue ball? Oh, well. It's really, really tough to play those thin cuts with outside because the spin, the amount of right-hand spin he had on that is deflecting the cue ball in, and it's very easy to catch the object ball too thick when you do that. Obviously, so experienced that situation, he can adjust to perfection in that case.
Yeah, how well did he kill the cue ball on that shot?
Yeah, it was a kill with spin.
Yeah, and I think Chinese Taipei players, I presume the shaft he's using is also made by Zen cues.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's got
the
the same markings.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah.
And when you watch the Chinese Taipei players play, the cues all look quite fat. The tips. Be interesting to see what the diameter on the tip is. I've noticed that when they all play, they all look quite chunky.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because there's a fellow trying to sell a Southwest cue, and these guys are also, I think he's playing Southwest rather than Zen. If I have a feeling they may be playing Southwest. I'm not sure about that, but I know he has played Southwest, and the Co brothers do like the Southwest gear, and they are over 13 millimeter tips on them. Like they're 13.1, 13.2. So the fattest shafts of fatter than any other cue brand. So today mostly you've got a 12.5, and a lot of the carbon fibers are 11.2. You even have some, 11.5, 10.11. I think the Z shaft, the one that Filler uses, is very thin. I think 11.5 it is. So yeah, most shafts on the thinner side. Yeah, I'm really not sure. It'd be interesting to find that out, whether it's a Southwest or a Zen.
Well, that is his fourth break and run of the match. Masato has only had two. Masato is choosing to go down the middle. Kopinyi is playing the cut break. But it's 10-4 Ko. There we see again, he's deciding to just stun the cue ball in the centre. Cue ball got kicked this time, that's why it's found itself on the top rail. Looks to have a very easy safety shot. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Didn't really want the bump on the 7, but the main thing is he sent a good cue ball over.
So this is definitely no situation to try it in, but this sort of situation reminds me of a tournament a while back when one of the South American players did a double jump, a successful double jump. I can't remember the name of the player, but I don't think this is a situation where that would work, but I think it's the first time it's been done. It has been done, at least on TV table. Breaking the boundaries all the time, people, you know, how many athletics, how many can do, you know, somebody does a double backflip, then someone has to do a triple and so on, and we've had a double jump shot. You just wonder what's going to be next. Yeah, so it says out there, Jesus Atencio did that one of the events in the US, I think earlier on this year. It got a lot of, went viral, got a lot of hits. So he jumped, so what I mean by double jump is two balls in the way of the object ball, just like here, the 6 and the 9. Jump over the first one so high that when the cue ball hits the bed of the table in front of the 9, it would also bounce over the 9 and then hit the one afterwards. He was faced with a situation like that where he didn't have any other option to hit the object ball other than to do, well, perhaps he did have other options, but he chose that one and was successful at it and ran the rack out. So I believe so. Yeah, it's something special which adds to the spice of the sport, and people come up with new things like that.
This pot's in the side. He's got to watch the scratch in the opposite middle. Yeah, look where the cue ball was going. That's what worried him. That's why he played it a little bit tentative.
Nice left a bank shot on there. I don't think we'll be seeing Ko turn down this bank shot because it affords easy position to the 2 ball. Straight in the middle.
Cue ball comes round and dresses up with a shot on the 2. He's got to navigate position to get on the 3. If he does that, this could be the end for that man right there.
Okay, so it's going high for the 3. Wondered if he might go below the 9, but that was too iffy. He might end up too thin on the 3, so he's gone 2 rails. Nicely controlled speed there. Oh, that was a little risky. A scratch at the head there. I think he was trying to bump it.
Yeah, must have just potted the ball in the wrong side of the pocket.
So these guys always looking for minimal movement of the cue ball. Even if it means leaving themselves slightly longer shot, they're just going to do that. Whereas your amateur players in the club, you'll see them whacking the ball with spin and trying to get themselves cue ball in hand position every time. These guys are so confident on the long shots.
And that's it, Ko Ping-yi in the end, a very comfortable winner indeed.
Wow, that went quick, yeah.
Masato, he's had a good week, but unfortunately falls short in that quarter-final match. Here's confirmation. Ko Ping-yi 11, Masato Yoshikawa 4. That is the second quarter-final match that we have seen. Our third quarter-final match will be at 4 p.m. So that's just in roughly around 40 minutes time. So that's a chance for you to get a little nibble and a drink.
Yeah, a couple of updates there on the ladies' side. So that match that we saw a little bit of earlier on, Sami Kanishi and Chang Li Chia, has finished. 7 games, 7 racks to 2 for Samia. And other updates, the 2 Singaporean ladies, Angela and Venus. Angela's 4-3 up there. And then we have China and I believe India. As a Ajamira Chitra from India and Vuong Thi Thua Bin, Vietnam there, at neck and neck at 4-4, all races to 7. And Joachim Nong and Hung Nog Ang there at 6-2, and the other match hasn't started yet. So that'll be it for the updates on the ladies, and we'll be back for the next session at 4 p.m.
I'm here with Ko Pinyi and Robbie Capito. Robbie's going to translate for us. Ko, that was a nice match, very easy win in the end.